What's up, guys? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars into the same room, talk about the latest Bitcoin news, world news, alpha fresh and hot off the presses. You name it, we got it with DeOrganized. Yeah, I hope you've had a very, very successful and high frequency hump day. Get over the hump. Whoop whoop. Yeah, lots of stuff going on within our ecosystem and in our industry in general. So got some very based individuals tonight as our guest, as well as some very based news. So I figured maybe I'll just get into my bookmarks and get straight into it. Um, yeah, high frequency Wednesdays, right? So just before we get into my bookmarks, the SEC greenlit Grayscale's ETF conversion to a fund containing Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, but then put a pause on it until further notice. Like, why? Why SEC? Come on, tell me why. Tell me why. Maybe they're gonna add some more. I don't know. Maybe they make one fellow swoop and just get them all at one time. But yeah, that was improvised there. It was not in my bookmarks, so sorry about that. Anyways, moving on into my bookmarks. GP is always prepared for the bookmark. From Arkham, and you can follow Arkham at ARKHAM. There you go. It's a very, very cool stuff. Two traders just swapped 1 million. Trader, this one, accidentally spent $1.6 million buying Company, a 20K market cap coin. That is like micro market cap. Another trader, this one, who had bought the coin seconds earlier, sold his entire stack into the candle, making 880K. Ouch. Yeah, so buying pressure and sell pressure. One hand leading to the other hand, making out like a bandit. So, wow. Don't be a noob. Don't do stuff that you don't know about. Interacting with stuff and not knowing about it. That's kind of crazy, right? I would imagine this is a noob, and this is a guy that has been just waiting for opportunity. So crazy stuff there. Crazier things have happened, but yeah, that did happen. Stacks with a handshake with Wormhole. SBTC and STX are going natively multi-chain with Wormhole NTT. Wormhole will integrate stacks to take 1.5 billion in SBTC and STX multi-chain, starting with Solana and Sweet. So very cool. This was yesterday's news, but I am covering it today because it is also a very based one. And I like this graphic. I wanted to cover it again because I wanted to look at this graphic. Look at this thing. Going into the Wormhole, SBTC, and stacks. Let's go. Moving on from Valor Funds. You can follow them at Valor Funds. We're pleased to announce the launch of 8 new SEK-dominated ETPs. ETPs are exchange-traded products on Sweden's Spotlight stock market. We've got one for Algo. We've got one for Arbitrum. We've got one for Bitcoin Cash, Filecoin, OKB, Polygon, Leo, and Stacks. So Stacks right here with an ETP and a Sweden exchange. And you're going to be able to trade these products with a regular bank or a broker, such as all of these other brokers. So Sweden getting into the ETP game and dipping their toes into the crypto industry. With this latest launch, we're not only broadening access to leading layer 2s and layer 1s and L2s and exchange tokens, but we're also strategically curating a product mix that reflects the evolving architecture of Web3. And they also said here, the Nordic market continues to demonstrate strong demand for easy, transparent, and regulated exposure to both established and emerging digital assets. These latest listings provide investors with new ways to diversify their portfolios across blockchains, infrastructure tokens, and exchange ecosystem, says the head of Nordics. So this is big news. Sweden, known as the banking country there, like a lot of banking takes place in Sweden. Very cool. Very, very cool. Moving on, just going to rehash this as well from the main Stacks handle. You can follow that at Stacks. STX DeFi season is live. A collaborative launch by leading Stacks BTC5 protocol. In partnership with Zeely.io, Earn from a 50K SDX reward pool by completing on-chain Bitcoin DeFi Quest. You can check all of this out at stxdefi.com. They have a one-pager explaining all of it and all the participants within our ecosystem. So go check it out, guys. Go participate. Coming from the DeOrganized handle, you can follow that at DeOrganized BTC. Hello, hello. It's official. July is Use SDX month. Stacks is Bitcoin's leading layer, and builders are shipping real ways to use your SDX every day. 5 winners will receive 50 SDX each. Tag your favorite Stacks builder / project below and report your and repost for your chance to win. Learn more below, and then we can move into this. DeOrganized Media and the Stacks Foundation are teaming up for a daily giveaway contest. Every few days, we'll highlight an innovative way to use SDX, from Bitcoin identities to creators, games, and community tokens. How can you use SDX right now? Here are 9 ways. You can claim a .btc name, your Bitcoin ID, support creators and on-chain media, play Bitcoin L2 game, trade memes and community tokens, meaning Welsh, Rue, Vio, Pepe, um, stack and earn BTC yield, mint and collect Bitcoin NFTs, use STX in DeFi, uh, the whole nine, right? The whole nine. Um, Moving on. Starting tomorrow, we'll spotlight each one and with ways to participate, show your receipts, and win. Check the daily prompt, share your proof, i.e., a screenshot, story, or action. Tag, uh, hashtag use SDX and spread the word. Win prizes for putting SDX to work. I love this. Day one starts with your Bitcoin identity. Get ready to flex those .btc names powered by the Bitcoin name system, BNS, and be on the lookout for posts from one underscore BNS and from BNS underscore community. I love it. This month, don't just hold, use STX. Follow DeOrganized plus Stacks.org to catch the daily drop. Ready to use STX? Tag your friends and let's get to work. They have a one-pager here that you can go check out as well. So very, very basic collaboration between the Stacks Foundation and DeOrganized this month. Let's check out how to use STX. Very cool. Moving. Oh yeah, let me look at this right here. Boom, boom, boom. La-di-da. All right. From the Hermetica camp, and you can follow them at Hermetica5, instantly swap any SIP10 asset to USDH on our buy page, powered by Bitflow Finance. Definitely follow Bitflow underscore finance while you're at it. Try it now at app.hermetica.fi/buy. Looky here. Looky here. Looky here. Love it. So from AE USDC, STX, a bunch of different based pairs to USDH available on the Hermetica 2.0 platform. Love it. Coming from the Bitflow camp, and you definitely follow them at Bitflow underscore finance. They had a based building on Bitcoin episode today. Had a bunch of really cool people, including builders from ICP and the Bitcoin ecosystem. STSDX BTC swaps are now live on Bitflow. You can now swap in and out of your STSDX BTC position and back to STX or any major SIP10 token anytime. Full flexibility, earn BTC yield, and stay liquid. Love it. If you did not know, you can earn daily rewards in SBTC for stacking your STX for STSDX BTC. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Coming from Rafiko.btc, and you can follow him at Rafa Stacks, the founder of Fact Fun. Love it. It's time to accelerate. Experience back in dev wants to team up at Fact Fun, and you can follow them at Fact Fun. That's FAKFAKFN. DM for stress test. Pass the word around. Bonus if Stacks track record already. Stacks resident or grinder reputation. So go hit up Rafa, man. This is a base builder in our ecosystem, and he has done a lot of work on backend around this ecosystem. So love this guy. He is a high frequency individual and believes in the ethos that we are fighting for. So go check it out, man. Putting together a base team right now. So very, very solid. Coming from the Zest Protocol camp, and you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Why complicate things? Deposit on Zest, then rest. I love it. Look at this little, whoever made this picture is fantastic. Fantastic work here. Love it. Got a boost. Look at that, baby. Let's go. Got a boost. We'll check that out in a minute. Every time, again from the Zest Protocol camp, uh, every time the SBTC deposit cap was raised, more was deposited on Zest. Now holding 500 SBTC. Imagine the growth once the cap is removed. I am the community manager for Zest. Definitely go jump into the Zest Protocol Discord. We have the Zest meme coin sprint going down right now, including that includes a lot of different based activities and prizes for participants and active users. You can win some Sipton assets. You got Rue, Leo, Flat, STSDX, and now Peggy entering the fray. So yeah, go get you a Zest community chest by staying active in the Discord. Coming from the Stacking Dow camp here, and you can follow them at Stacking Dow. Uh, no need to overthink it. Just use Stacking Dow. And look at this graph. Boom, boom, boom. Very cool there. Very cool. Again, from the Stacking Dow camp. STX stacking yield is high this cycle, around 10% APY. But Stacking Dow's LST design, that stands for is liquid stacking tokens. You start earning rewards the moment you deposit. No delays, no minimums. So any amount of stacks can be stacked on Stacking Dow, and then you can begin earning yield in SBTC or auto compounding yield in SDX. So and you're also earning points on their platform. And if it's for you, you can even opt in for the native stacking with BTC yield, it directly in native BTC to your wallet every two or so weeks. Make sure you catch it at the beginning of a cycle, so you don't stack in the middle and get your stuff locked up for longer than you need to. So pay attention to the cycles here, but it is yielding 10.58% for native stacking there. Moving on to the main news from Bitcoin Magazine, just in, world's largest asset manager BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF drives more revenue than its S&P 500 fund, per Bloomberg. Wow, look at that. ETFs, BlackRock, Bitcoin ETF, I said BTF, ETF drives more revenue than its S&P 500 fund is freaking crazy. It's happening, guys. And industrial revolution for Bitcoin is happening right now. It's a hyper Bitcoinization. So from the Cointelegraph here, Swedish health firm H100 Group adds 47.33 BTC to its treasury. Total holdings now at 247.54 BTC. Love it. Like I said, everybody and their mom is hodling Bitcoin. Ballerinas, scientific groups. Now you're seeing a health firm, hospitals, universities, nation states, you name it, they're hodling Bitcoin. Look at it. Look at it. Latest, Warren Buffett's market indicator just hit a record 205% above .com 2008 and 2021 peaks. Look at that. New all-time high here. Look at that. Look at that. Just in, Belgium's KBC Bank plans to offer BTC and ETH trading to retail clients. So even banks are getting involved in, having crypto assets on their balance sheets and offering trading for their clients. So look at it. Look at it. Keep saying that. New stablecoin supply on Ethereum hits an all-time high of $135.4 billion. Wow. It continues to grow. We have stablecoin regulation. All of that legal clarity is, allowing people to spectate a little bit more and put their dollars into stablecoins. Look at that. Update, Amazon deploys its millionth robot and launches Deep Fleet. AI to boost delivery and efficiency. So AI building robots, maybe? That's crazy. Yeah. Cool. Look at these robots carrying boxes and stuff. These guys look pissed. They're like, these robots took our derbs. Justin, Italy's Banca Sella is testing stablecoin custody with Fireblock, eyeing next steps after summer. Fireblock. New, Ripple has applied for a U.S. national bank license. Wow, Ripple, XRP, crazy. New, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that the Fed could cut interest rates by September or sooner if Trump tariffs continue showing little inflation impact. Oh, man. Cut those rates. We have an FOMC meeting at the end of this month, the 29th through the 30th. So maybe even as early as the end of the month. Who knows? It is the end of Q2 too. Insight: the Genius Act will cement stablecoins as the basis of the basis of the global crypto economy. Can Bitcoin reach its full potential if that happens? I think so. I mean, it already is. Like, what is it at today? It pumped for a good amount, right? Like, we're up like 3.2 1 3.12% today, and Stacks is up 8.02%. I'm loving that. Getting Why am I big? This is supposed to be big. What am I doing here? Nobody's gonna loan me. Anyways, I got that fixed. Usually I check, but whatever. Today, SEC Chair Paul Atkins says tokenization is an innovation. My whole goal is to make things transparent. Okay, Paul Atkins, do things with your bad self. The SEC chairman there. He replaced Gary Gensler earlier this year. Update: BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust added 3.85 billion in BTC in June, capping the month with a 112 million inflow on the 30th. Look at that. New: Coinbase acquires token management platform Liquify, expanding tools for token distribution, vesting, and tax handling. That's cool there. Update: Standard Chartered forecast BTC hitting 135K in Q3 and 200K by year end 2025. Fueled by ETF flows, corporate buys, Fed cuts, and stablecoin legislation. So short term, these are the things that are going to make it bullish and make it 200K by year's end. That's a lot. Now, and let me stress this. Now, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin on stage at ETC with a keynote speech on the importance of decentralization. Okay, look at this guy. Look how he's standing. Why is his foot like that? Anyway, all right, whatever, Vitalik. Do your thing. Latest: 12 trillion plus. AUM Fidelity sells 1,630 BTC worth 170 million. Your loss. Selling at these prices is ridiculous. Uh, in my opinion, we're preparing for the next leg up. Simple as that. We'll dive into the charts and stars in a minute. Just in, Deutsche Bank's DWS Galaxy and Flow Traders to launch Germany-regulated Euro stablecoin under MiCA rules. And big shout out to Gated.so. Gary, I love you, buddy. Gated.so officially integrated with BNS V2. Read a little bit. Here is how it works. When you visit gated.so, we begin by checking the owner of the BNS namespace by calling the following API. You can check there. This returns the address of the BNS owner. Once we get the stacks address back from BNS, we look up the NFTs gated pages owned by that address. If you didn't know, each gated page is stored as an NFT on chain with an associated metadata URI. Then we fetch the metadata for the gated page NFT currently from IPFS, that is Interplanetary File System. Inside the metadata, we check if the page includes a BNS name field that matches the original BNS name you visited, i.e. GaryRiger.btc. If it matches, we render that page. This means that your .btc name becomes a live web presence backed by on-chain ownership. No login required, no centralized DNS, no guesswork, your name, your content. It just works. Want one? Start by going to gated.so and secure your page. Once you have your page, edit the page and select your BNS name from the drop-down menu. Submit transaction to update the page, and then now your page will resolve at boom. Gated. Let's go. Your BNS name becomes your Web3 native homepage, built on Stack, powered by NFTs, published to the world. With freedom. Thank you, Gary. This is awesome. Maybe we'll go through and check out Gated with the guys. And there you go. This is what it looks like, Gary Riger. Boom, boom. Building on Bitcoin. Come with. Let's go. Big shout out to Gary. I'm a fan of your work. OG NFT experimenter. And here you go. Here's a picture of Wendy O with the grill and a rolly, an iced out rolly. There you go. If you need a little bit of cringe today for your news segment, there it is. Wendy O with a wow, a very wow picture there. Wendy. The big beautiful bill has passed. I love passing generational debt to my kids. Of course think she means that too. I don't think she's being facetious. Anyway, stop sharing. Hope that made you laugh. Let's bring on the guys. We have base legends in the house tonight. Dark Dude in the house, and we also have Bull You Picked Up BTC. What's up, guys? How are we feeling tonight?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going, man. It's been a very grind heavy week. Um, it's a new month, so I had to make some activity schedules, make my rounds, get some collaborations, do some testing on some stuff that's coming out very soon. You did not know, you need to check out Satoshi AI. That is ticker SAI on Dollar and on Bitflow. Go check it out, guys. Got to do some testing today, and I was very excited to do that. Um, was in a couple of different spaces, including the Stacks X Sui Lounge, building on Bitflow or Bitcoin with the Bitflow crew. It was a good day, man. It was a good hump day. It feels like we got over the hump successfully.
Definitely got over the hump successfully. Man, I did some work in the morning and took a 3-hour nap and then forgot it was hump day.
That's what it was, dude. Like it just triggered the nap. It's like, oh shit, half of the week is over.
I know, I was like, wait, tomorrow's Monday, right?
So what about you, Bo? How are we doing tonight?
Pretty good. Normal, pretty better than usual.
Good, dude. From Bitcoin. Oh, sorry. Making a post real quick. Bitcoin ecosystem and Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin and broader crypto. Right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Sorry about that. Just had to get a little busy, man. You know me. I'm always multitasking, doing 1,000 things at one time. So this wormhole integration takes Stacks multi-chain. I'm really excited about that. That was one of the main talking points of the week so far. And SBTC, so we already know that Sol and Sui are adopting SBTC into their ecosystems, and my thesis is that, Stacks will be the bridge for other ecosystems to Bitcoin. So, like to see that happening. And we have the base legend Crypto Dude in the house as well. What's up, Crypto Dude? And I forgot here.
What up?
Boost, dude. I got a boost. I got a broadcast boost, and I forgot to look at it. Forget about it. I'm bringing this bad boy up. Thanks for reminding me. Jeez.
That's all good. I was just joining late. I was trying to get this BNS translation in the Omnibox set up now since we got the V2. It's basically on the V2 roadmap, and I was like just hammering on it. And so I got the .btc, .stx, and .id names translating to X profile pages via your OmniSearch field in your browser, right? But I also added .app namespace support from the OmniSearch. So we can now basically type in like BNS space and then a .app name, and then it'll redirect to the corresponding website defined in that zone file. So just now, I've been talking about how we can use this to validate, the proper X profile page, in case it got censored, in case the profile account got censored. Well, now if an app's URL for some reason gets censored and needs to recover, that we can use BNS basically to verify the authenticity, so to speak.
That's sick, dude. Why do I feel like Dark Dude? Did you guys have like a DM? Because Dark Dude has been registering .app names, .id names, just all of them, right? And
We're just on the same wavelength.
It's just two dudes. I see it now. Right.
2 dudes in a pod.
Yeah, that's how dudes roll.
The pod is base, dude, on a pod.
What's kind of cool is I also so basically the users that are finding or using this feature, they're gonna type in their address bar BNS space and then a BNS name, so a .btc name, .stx or .id or .app name, right? And so kind of what's cool is when they use the .app name and it redirects them to the app in question, it also actually includes some URL parameters in there one being the source, because it's coming from BoostX, so the app developers can see that they're getting some traffic via BoostX, and then also there's a BNS parameter, so they can actually see what BNS name translated to their app, right, via BoostX. So basically, there's a way for app developers to kind of leverage .app names kind of to track marketing and marketing campaign success potentially through BoostX. So like
social metrics.
Yeah, kind of like a way to leverage BNS names to help facilitate marketing campaigns and have a little bit of tracking there.
That's badass, dude.
And even potentially do that in a way where users this heavily dependent on these apps, right? But that are receiving this data. But in theory, apps receiving this data could say, oh, okay, some third-party user registered a .app name, pointed it at our app, and now we receive some traffic to our app via that name that they had, and we know that that's the method in which the user came in because it's encoded into the URL, and so that owner of that name could, in theory, be like, maybe a little love sent their way if some users onboarded. It's a way to kind of encode referrals into URLs based on DNS names, basically.
That's pretty cool. I mean, my whole strategy with .apps has been, I could make an app for that, and if not, AI can in 3 months.
Exactly. Now now you'll be able to be like, I didn't even have to build it. Somebody else built it, and I just pointed the freaking thing at it.
So
and then the app developer could, in theory, kick back a royalty to you for directing traffic that way via that name.
So I said I wasn't going to bring this up, but like one thing I saw in the timeline, I'm not going to name the person, but I saw somebody like being a foot pimp, right? Can we build like a foot finder on Stacks and then like, have like referral bonuses and like make the whole thing for this? Like, through BoostX.
Say that again. What are you saying now?
We got a foot pimp in the house, right? Like a
foot pimp.
Like he's a foot pimp, right? Like
collects foot pics or something. Is that what you're saying? What are you saying?
I don't know. It sounds like this person accidentally registered feet pics for sats.btc because it was funny, and now they're just inundated with business opportunities.
I am businessman.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a tool that developers could tap into as well now, not just users. That's kind of what I'm hitting at here with this Omni search being, because like obviously users are more than likely going to have .btc, .stx, and .id names, and .app names are kind of intended to point at apps, I would presume, because .app, and so giving this translation option and giving some extra URL encoded parameters in there will allow users to have a little bit more trackability in terms of like marketing campaigns and whatnot.
I mean, I think it's a brilliant concept if I were any protocol in Stacks right now, like I would be setting the X name as .btc or .app name, so you can get this functionality and start. Dude, this data is very valuable, right? Like it helps kind of steer your campaigns, kind of see what works and what doesn't. It's very valuable, dude. So like what you're providing with BoostX, that is BoostX_app on X, is mind blowing.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make it to where it's a little bit more smooth for the total experience, obviously, in terms of like sharing links that will maybe encode the BNS based search, and so that way it does that. You could basically kind of like encode some sort of hyperlink, maybe with some sort of specific tagging or something. I don't know. It's still a little bit like to get it into the feed, so to speak, for these links are shareable into the feed, and they're translating through the BNS translation, basically, so that way these additional parameters can be included in the call. That's like really where it'll be really valuable at that point, in my opinion. Because people will be like, oh, I registered .app name. Now I'm going to share my little .app name in my little tweet. And then because BoostX is scanning the tweets, it detects the .app name. now clickable. It does a BNS-based lookup against that to find the corresponding DApp, and then it also includes the extra parameters like we're talking about, so that DApp could take those in and potentially reward the user for facilitating traffic that way.
Yeah, I feel like these different campaigns that are happening, like just for instance, like the Use Stacks campaign with the Organized X, Stacks Foundation could be used somewhat with BoostX to kind of get metrics, right? Like, I mean, I'm really fascinated with like any use case for this right now.
Yeah, me too.
These different social.
Yeah, it seems like it's most definitely a touching. It's like the tip of the iceberg on something real huge, specifically for this type of translation and encoded URL parameters. Because apps obviously will, if they're listening to the user calls and they take those parameters into consideration, they can track that and reward users based on like not necessarily just traffic, but in theory users that signed up right after that to their app, then you now have an association in terms of a referral. So
and then it's putting the data on chain too.
Well, the way this is done is it's interpreting already existing on-chain data. That's basically when a user updates their zone file, they're basically attesting to that on-chain, right? And then it gets stored and served via APIs, right? And so users
it's collecting the data.
Yeah, it's just like the API is like kind of a middleware to the chain at that point. But the point I'm getting at here is the apps that take these additional URL arguments in. So like, for example, it might just be easier just to show you. Fuck it.
Yeah, dude. Fuck it, dude. Show me a little demo. It's been a minute since we got a little demo from you anyway.
Yeah.
That way if you want to.
Let me just see here. Make sure this is not broken at the moment. All right. So you gotta do it sometimes, when you're building these. You're like, where did I stop at? Is it broken? No. Okay, it's not broken. All right, hold on one sec, bro.
This is what transparency and building it like in the open looks like, almost. And late,
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember whenever we were just kind of formulating ideas surrounding your, when we first started coming on DeOrg, and then doing these like demos, like kind of explaining, giving somebody a visual representation to help them learn what was exactly happening.
Yeah,
really cool, man. We've come a long way, man.
Yeah, we're getting there. All right, I believe I'm sharing my screen here. Hold on
Pull that bad boy up real quick here. There we go. We got it right there.
All right, so let me go ahead and close this. Let me just show you here. We go BNS space, and now I'm searching, right? And I can go eric.btc and hit enter, and it brings me straight to Eric's X profile page, right? Because he's got that record in his own file. Now, if I wanted to go BNS space boostx.app, it brings me to the boostx.cc website, because that's what I have encoded in the zone file relative to boostx.app. It brings me to this website, right? And then it also encodes the BNS name that was looked up to resolve to this address, and it also includes the source, which is obviously BoostX app. So obviously this seems a little bit kind of weird to see these two props here. Let me actually do let me do another one. Hold on. What was it? CryptoCache.app brings us to the app.stackers.cc, and it encodes basically the name that we used to resolve to this, right? And it includes the source, which was the BoostX app, right? Because I'm using the BoostX search feature, right? That's leveraging BNS search. So basically, now apps, like this app right here, could, in theory, respect this BNS name reference as the referral. Say I didn't sign in yet, but I, signed in, and then it was my first time signing in. They could detect this URL, this additional argument in the URL, and say, okay, now this guy is actually the referral that brought them here. So now on their back end, when they're doing rewards and payouts, they can, potentially reward this endpoint because it was what led people to here, right? And so I hope this is making sense.
That's awesome.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
like,
it, dude.
yeah, that's like the exactly what without knowing this was possible, that's kind of what I pictured with like .btc and .stx and .app names kind of being just replacing the .com, .net domains. That's super cool.
Yeah, well, it's basically giving a layer on top of them that allows us to have the flexibility to avoid being censored, because if they censor us at a domain name level, our server is more likely by IP address is still up, or another name. Basically, there's usually, when you have a server running up, you have like multiple routes going to it. But if they for some reason decided fuck your domain over, you could use BNS to basically resolve back to it if you maybe got a new name and like a new legacy name, or maybe just pointed at your IP. It just depends on kind of at that point. But BNS is most definitely an attempt to give users the power and ownership back on human readable names that are globally unique.
Did you see what Gary did with Gated.so?
Yeah, I was actually listening to that in your intro, and I was like, oh man, now I'm really thinking like, because he's maybe there's an integration there.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, dude, whenever I was reading it, I was like, like, you own your your web page here, right? Like, you go to gated.so and like just check.
Yeah, let's go over the details one more time of how that works exactly.
So yeah, let me read through it real quick. So gated.so has officially integrated with BNS v2. So getting into the details, here's how it works. When you visit gated.so/#/Gary.GaryRiger.btc, we begin by checking the owner of the BNS namespace by calling the following API. And it's the BNS API there, making sure that Gary owns that BNS. Then this returns the address of the BNS owner. Once we get the stacks address from the BNS, we look up the NFTs, the gated pages, owned by that address. If you don't know, each gated page is stored as an NFT on-chain with an associated metadata URI. Then we fetch the metadata for the gated page NFT, currently from IPFS. Inside the metadata, we check if the page includes the BNS name field that matches the original BNS name you visited, i.e. GaryRiger.btc. If it matches, we render that page. This means your .btc name becomes a live web presence backed by on-chain ownership. No login required, no centralized DNS, no guesswork, your name, your content, it just works. Want one? Get started by going to gated.so and secure your page. Once you have your page, edit the page and select your BNS name from the drop-down menu, submit transaction to update page, and now your page will resolve at gated.so.
Nice.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's most definitely sounds like there's some overlap here.
Yeah, like, dude, like, I think that this is something really cool. I think that this is you came to mind. I didn't know that you were gonna like be on the show tonight. So like I was just like, dude, like I want to talk to Crypto Dude about this. So what do you think that this means? Like what could we do with it? Like what is the potential? Like how does it look? A collaboration between, Gated and BoostX. Like
I most definitely want to do some sort of collab or integration with it. It seems like it's a very promising model. I would need to look over the logistics and see how best to go about integrating it a little bit. But he's got a BNS translation, and so basically the way I understand it, he's probably got an on-chain index from name to NFTs. And those NFTs, the gated NFTs, are what the actual, your page metadata, so to speak, is served from. And so, yeah, I think I'm trying to think here. What would be
Like you could be able to boost from gated or something like that, or like go to the like some gated content, and then like I don't know. Like
Part of me earlier, I was thinking, what if, in BoostX we had support for .app names also on the timeline, and if those .app names, had content published in the rocket, was presented on their tweet, so to speak, instead of that rocket clicking upon click opening the modal, it would just on click open that DApp, the corresponding DApp of that .app name, right? That could be one way to have kind of an integrated experience that's based on user control more, but it's kind of a little bit misleading too, because there's people are thinking they're going to be able to tip when it's actually more like a redirect.
Yeah,
So,
it is a redirect doing it that way.
So, like, theoretically, if someone owned applepay.app, does this add value to that domain?
oh yeah, ApplePay.app. I mean, if you, especially if you can like figure out a way to actually, I mean, ApplePay.app is pretty specific, bro.
And like Amazon Prime.app, just theoretically, I have no idea who owns this.
Well, you could work out a deal with these companies and say, hey, I'm going to redirect some traffic your way. The traffic's going to look like this, and this is the URL that you could listen to these extra arguments on the URL, and then you could pay me for the traffic I redirect your way. That's potentially a way to leverage your BNS names to kind of get paid to send people to any domain, really.
And Darth is
Web
going
2.0,
to end up onboarding Amazon and Apple to Stacks so they could cut him out. It's a win-win-win, like, right? Like they're gonna put it for a little bit, and then like Darth is gonna be rolling in it, and they're gonna be like, no more of this. Like we're just gonna be on Stacks now. Like, yeah, dude. Like yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see where this leads. I mean, obviously, there's a bunch of different namespaces out there. We could, in theory, do different handling for different namespaces. We could, kind of come together and see what works. Like this is all about where the feedback is super important, because we're so like at the edge of innovation here. Like we're figuring out how do we want to use these namespaces. So obviously they're used for identity,
I just wanted
but they can be used other ways.
I just wanted to be in between two based dudes, so I moved my screen in the middle. Sorry, it felt appropriate. It feels like home. It felt like too dudeish, like on the right side. So I was like, I'm not trying to break the party up. I'm just trying to be in the party. Just have some fun.
You're like,
so,
I need to balance the feng shui of dude.
Yeah, dude, like the feng shui of dude was like, it's too heavy on the road. The dude shui needs to be adjusted. Oh, shit. So this is what it is for DeOrganized, right? You're getting the alpha fresh and hot off the press, as new as it comes, new ideas, getting a little bit of news and entertainment. If you're not following DeOrganized BTC, I don't know what you're doing at this moment. So go to X and follow DeOrganized. Go to DeOrganized.media and set up your profile page. Simple as that. Go check out the schedule. We've got a show schedule for you, so you never miss a space or podcast. All that jazz. And base builders coming on a regular basis, like Crypto Dude. And
dude, you want to hear something? I can tell something to your audience if you want to hear this. So I asked AI earlier, basically, I was like, hey, hold on, let me just pull it up here.
Hell yeah, dude, let's do it.
Yeah, and so let me open this browser. One sec here. Oh my goodness, got too many windows open.
Oh, dude, me too. At any given moment.
And sharing. All right, I'm sharing it. Let me zoom in here, probably.
All right, so maybe like a couple, like one more mouse wheel. Yeah, one more mouse wheel. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So I asked basically AI, ChatGPT specifically, I was talking with him about the projections of Bitcoin's valuation based on historical context, and I kind of got it to serve me this information, and it's basically indicating that there's a conservative estimate. I mean, you can read the details here yourself, but
Right, yeah.
2030 conservative estimate 100 to 250K, aggressive 1 million. That's in 5 years.
5 years, $1 million. That is like 10x.
That's obviously aggressive, but moderate. I mean, just think about anywhere from conservative to moderate in between, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. Like these are more the safe bets. These are the
aggressive, like, hey, you're going all in and you're like speculating hard.
What actually breaks the assumptions down here. Here, I'll show you.
Oh shit.
So, yeah, conservatives basically BTC adoption grows slowly, used mainly as digital gold, and more or less has tight regulation. Moderate equals 5 to 10% global adoption, some state level adoption used in DeFi, remittance, and reserves. That's kind of
it's happening right now.
Yeah, right. So and then obviously aggressive equals widespread adoption, fiat devaluation, BTC as major settlement layer or unit of account globally, basically. So
also happening right now.
I know, right? So it's like super insanely bullish. So I just like to look at the kind of like the min to max, and like we're only 5, obviously like 5, 10, 15. Like this is like right here is kind of insane. 2040 is like kind of insane.
Dude, I'm gonna be rolling in it when I'm like 50, 60 years old, dude. Is what you're telling me. Like, hey, there's a chance.
Wait, so I'll go ahead and stop sharing now. But the way I look at it is, those are assuming we don't completely escape fiat entirely before then, which I think we actually will, because we have the speed, we have batching, so to speak, via subnets, and we have SBTC, we have a ton of power, so to speak, not just in like novel things like BNS, which is insanely novel, but it's also insanely powerful because it's essentially replacing DNS, right? Like if ISPs got on board with BNS, then
so what is it, DNS?
DNS is just like domain name system. It's like the legacy, what you use to go to www.whatever.com, right?
Yeah, .com, .net.
Yeah, it's translating that into an IP address or a server in the back end, right, in your browser, and so you can resolve to the corresponding host at that whatever site you're trying to go to. Well, BNS basically facilitates the same thing. It's just the names themselves.
You own it. Yeah,
you actually own instead of the registrars, like with traditional DNS. There's registrars, GoDaddy and all them, right? Those basically are the actual owners. Well, I mean, it's actually further up than that, but you got to pay for DNS. That. You don't really have, you don't really have a whole lot of true ownership when it comes to legacy DNS, and so that's one innovation within the Stacks ecosystem. And there's Nakamoto consensus. We got SBTC. It's insane how powerful our ecosystem is and how secure our ecosystem is. So those basically are the building blocks to take it to the next level, right? And I think we'll completely ditch fiat before we even realize it, because we'll have end-to-end cryptographic economy all backed and secured by Bitcoin.
Exactly. Like there's so much asymmetric upside with like .btc versus .com. Even if you assumed that their value was 1-to-1, you just look at the numbers. There's 156 million .com domains in use today, and there's 300,000 .btc names. So like there could be 1 million more new registrations of .btc names, and it still would be an unsaturated market. And then you go into factor in that you actually own your domains, and they're also wallet enabled without middlemen, and they cut down fees, and you've got these companies using Bitcoin payments in order to cut 50% off of their credit card fees. It's a ridiculous asymmetric upside. You can get a .btc name for less than $2 right now. It's It's actually
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, good times. Let's go.
Yeah, and you only have to register that every 5 years, and it's for the same amount, right? Like, get out of here.
Now here's the crazy fucking part. People can not only register names, like their .btc names, but they can actually fucking create namespaces.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Define the rules of those namespaces in terms of registration links, costs, etc.
Yeah, you've got like .stx and .app, which never expire. So it's like I spent a whole 7 cents on Apple Music and Apple Pay .app, and they
Dude,
never expire.
Insane.
Like what? It's yeah. So I'll just sit on these until BNS like has a V3 and we have like a borrowing lending protocol. And it's like, oh yeah, Apple Pay, you want this and you want to cut out half of your credit card fees? I'll give it to you for 20% of your annual credit card bill, and I'll never sell it. Like these
Borrowing lending for BNS is fucking crazy to think about.
Crazy.
Yeah, portability enables it.
Yeah. And I can go spend a whole $1.73 and just re-register, renew my .btc names for another 5 years at a time, which they don't expire till 2030, and by then we're going to have a completely different financial system.
They need to work on an opt-in for an auto re-registration so people don't lose their BNS that they hold near and dear.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah. The problem with the auto re-reg, you're still gonna have to preload it with some sort of funds. I mean,
but I mean, all you
either
do
that
is
or have somebody else.
you
You delegate the authority.
Like, hey, I wanna own this for 10 years. Like, so I delegate 10 years worth of FTX, right? Like for registration, and then just put it in escrow. That way, it's like, whoop, money's already there.
Yeah, you can most definitely do timed signed messages. I mean, you could just use a subnet basically for that if you really, really wanted, right? And then just
Please
execute your call during the predefined time.
Yeah, so in the last 3 seconds, so I went to Beyonce.id, and which the .id names they expire after a year. So I just spent another 0.1 STX, and now it doesn't expire till 2027. So like if you're here in the bear market, you can just renew it 6 times, and now you've got it for 6 years for less than $1.
Nice.
It's
dude, Dark, you're a Renaissance man, bro.
Yeah.
I am businessman.
Guy's playing the fucking BNS game. God damn. Just like he's over here fucking making some moves.
I see moves, I make moves. I'm so bullish on STX, I don't own any STX. Take that into consideration.
I love that.
Put it all
the
secondary
on
assets.
the ecosystem, put it into assets in the ecosystem. I see you, bro. I see you. I love it. Like playing 3D chess with stacks and the charts. Speaking of which, we had a close of some sort. Did you want to close with the STX chart, maybe, Darth? Maybe take a poke at it?
Yeah, let me pull that up real fast.
Cool. Yeah,
and sharing my screen. Here we go.
Bada, let me bring it up. Hold on real quick, Mike. And then we're going to take a look at the BNS names first. Let's go.
Oops, I shared my BNS names. What's that? Is that Jerry with a money printer? Does Bitcoin fix this? Really?
No. Good.
Anyways, let me share the actual chart screen.
Set up. And you can also click that same button that you're using to share screen and then replace screen as well too.
Oh, whoops! I'm not a scientist.
I'm just, I'm a producer, of a show, so just let me know.
Yeah, next time we will be on top of it. So this little tiny little blue line was like the super bullish close I was looking for. But we, just like 13 minutes ago, we closed down here. So closing above here was bullish, closing above here super bullish. But basically we're in the lows of the lows, and the pattern I look for is we get a stop hunt, we break old highs, we retrace anywhere from 50 to 78%, and then we run for old highs again, like this red line. And now down here, we're doing the exact same thing. We hit a large time frame price array on the monthly right here. Strong reaction signaling that this was a stop hunt. We get an impulse up, breaking old highs, and then a retracement 50 to 70%. And so this little blue line on the weekly is it's a super buy zone based on the weekly time frame. And we just had a really strong close today. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings, but we're in the fractal of a fractal in a discount of a discount. So this is like turbocharged bullish down here to keep it short and sweet. And yeah, and for the next couple weeks in July, so like look at what this week did here. We had a bearish week that opened. This one closed, opened. It went up, slammed down, took stops, closed. New week opened, went down ever so slightly, went up, took the short stops, retraced a little bit, closed. Now, in order to have a bullish week, we want it to open, go down first to create the wick,
What you did.
and then start going up. So we've got 4 days left in the week, and we saw exactly what we want to see for the first half, which is open, go down first, and then close up here and create a big green bullish candle.
Where do
which
we
is the
want to
same.
close above on the week? On that.
On the weekly?
Yeah, on the week.
Oh, so we just closed above here, which is really good. So now, anywhere this closes, it could close above here, which would be cool. If it closes above this weekly gap, you see the gap between these two wicks here and here. If it closes above that midpoint, then that's super bullish. But either way, from this price point, my next target is right here.
We're looking
at
to close above
$1.07.
like 62 cents, and then we're going to fade the highs at $1.07.
Yeah. So when I play this model, this is like the one model that I play daily, I buy here in the discount. I put a stop at the low, and I target the highs. And there's your 2.8 risk reward, and 2.8 3 to 1. That's pretty cool. And then you realize, holy crap, we're even in
Yeah,
an even more macro
Zoom
money
out.
hunter,
They
where we
say.
took the highs, went down into the lows, this little blue box, which is a monthly time frame point of interest on the macro, and that means our next target up there is 385.
Good grief.
So you got a 3 to 1 scalp to $1, and then
Runner
even more,
upside.
yeah, even more to here, and then we can put this logarithmic, and yeah, we can have more extended targets here. Why is this not deleting? And then we would go here to, let's go here. It's logarithmic, so it's being a little weird. But yeah, so the second deviation right here is $10 stacks, which is kind of my subconscious runner target. So if using like the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, I would pay myself 80% above old highs, because see what happens when we get above old highs. We don't spend too much time above there. So secure 80% of the position, leave 20% as a runner to do a whole bunch of the work if we go into, blow off top euphoria.
Yep. Price discovery, blow off top, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, like leave a runner.
Yeah. Exactly. Either way, like you don't have to know much to buy low, sell high, and we're at the lows, and it looks good, and it's getting closer and closer to time every day.
I love it, man. Thank you for doing that, dude. I know that we were kind of like speculating, talking about daily, weekly, monthly closes in the last few episodes. Just wanted to recap, and talk about daily closes and monthly closes, and what Narnia looks like, and what could potentially play out. On the monthly, what do we need to close above to be bullish on a monthly time frame?
So for the month of July, it would be really cool to close above the previous months. candle. So the most the most important thing that I wanted to see, which I told you, was I didn't want to see us close June below this candle body. It's allowed to go down here and wick without breaking the low, as long as we don't close below this candle. So we didn't do that. All is looking well, and yeah, that's really good. And so look how we're really close to that quarter quadrant, and
Right.
respecting the upper half of this quadrant of this wick is super bullish. So if we get a close above June's candle high, that's bullish, and if we get a close above May's high, that's even more bullish.
So around 75 cents for the close for that.
Yeah, 75 to 82.
Gotcha.
And I mean, we could go sideways for a little bit, or we could rip faces.
Yeah. I mean,
And crypto, it bores you to death, and then it induces max FOMO and doesn't give you any retracements. So that's kind of the name of the game here.
that's what happened last year.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's what happened last year, bro. So it's not out of the cards. Max FOMO, that's whenever like the whole ecosystem is thriving, speculative assets are pumping, NFTs are fair game. You're talking BNS, yes. So I love it, man. I love the way that you look at charts and do your thing, man. Do your thing. This is
Yeah,
speculative.
that's
But,
what we're looking for, and that's why I'm playing all these secondary assets on Stacks. And whenever you're playing like Stacks memes or Stacks NFTs or BNS names, that's any secondary layer on the Stacks ecosystem is essentially a leveraged bet on Stacks without using leverage. So that's the game I'm playing right now.
So Stacks is your beta play on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin
Yep.
DeFi, yes. And then
Yep.
every other asset within the ecosystem, beta play on Stacks. So
Yep.
there you go,
Yep.
man. You don't have to use leverage if you know how to play DeFi.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the best way to play leverage is to do it with such a small percentage of your portfolio that you don't have a liquidation price, which is essentially the same as trading spot. So yeah, the best way to leverage is not to leverage.
Yeah. I remember being in the 99, which is like a little bit of like an educational group teaching different strategies and stuff. And a friend just kind of discovered that, like, hey, you can go 200x lev and not get liquidated. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So the math behind that is when you 200x your leverage, let's say you have a $1,000 position. If you want to do 200x leverage with zero liquidation price, you only put $50 in the trade. So that way, $50 times 200 is your $1,000 total amount for your leverage position. That way, if it goes to zero, you don't actually get liquidated. So
Math.
yeah,
Math.
yeah, it's just math. Or you just trade spot with $1,000 and ride it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. Different trading strategies, different strokes for different folks. However you want to spin it, tomato.
Exactly.
It's really cool, and I like that you're being open about like different trading strategies and what you're doing to get set up for the bull run. So
You can draw your fancy stuff and your cup and handles and your retail chart patterns, and it all ends up being the same stuff.
yeah, Confluence.
Yeah. And yeah, there's your fancy cup and handle with terrible drawing skills.
You know what? I think it's beautiful. Don't put yourself down like that.
It's all the same. Premium and discount.
Premium and discount. Anything below the 0.5 Fibonacci, discount. Anything above, premium. Simple as that.
Yep.
Right
Here's
on.
that's your box. This is the go zone right there.
So all red team go, red team go. You ever seen the back of a $20 bill on weed?
Nope.
Half baked, bro. I love it. Did we just become best friends? Yep. Karate in the garage. Yep. Oh, I love it. Yeah. to that point in the night where like what you're gonna get out of me is I'm not giving you anything but movie quotes, show quotes, you name it. Kevin'sChili.btc. Go buy it on BNS1 from me.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming through and chopping it up for me, and with me spending some of your most valuable asset, which is your time. We always have a based episode when I'm surrounded by dudes. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go around the room one last time. Any final thoughts? Any closing statements? Frequencies you want to put out to the ethos? Shameless shows that are allowed. Crypto dude, what we got, bro?
Shit. Let's see here. We got BoostX V2 coming. The BoostX V2 contract and the BoostX Space Drops V2 contract is basically done. Putting the finishing touches on the update to the front end. We obviously got some quality assurances we're going to do before getting it out there. We've already done a lot of that, but it's always good to do a couple rounds each time, as you go make your way through it. So super close to V2. Referral and sponsor system coming. This is obviously going to unlock, some growth for everybody, and we can grow together. So hopefully people will take advantage of it because we kind of worked our asses off on it. So we're trying to share the love by letting everybody have the opportunity to earn from use of BoostX itself. And if you already got BoostX, please leave a review on the Chrome store. And aside from that, I guess just keep building the change, being the change, boys. Let's go.
Damn, Skippy, bro. I definitely grow a little bit every time you say build the change. Let's go, dude. Thank you, man. Dark dude. Any final thoughts? Any closing statements? Final frequencies for the ethos? Let's go.
I mean, that's about it. Nothing to chill. I'm just chilling. I may or may not do like a weekly live stream or like a space on DeOrganized. I don't know. I'm in no hurry. But and I may or may not open up a Discord to talk more in depth, like multiple hour screen shares on altcoins and NFTs and BNS names. But who knows? DM me if you want in. Otherwise, up only from here.
Let's fire go, dude.
Send me an invite when you get that set up. Let's go.
Damn,
It's set up. Yeah, hit me up if you want in.
Yeah. And where can they follow you at, fellas? So, Dark Dude, what's your at on that?
Yeah, at DarthDude73 on the Twitter.
On the Twitter. And what about you, Crypto Dude? That's at Crypto Dude _BTC.
Yeah, you know that one. You got me.
Yep. And then BoostX _app. Don't forget about that. So, thank you, fellas. I appreciate your time, and look forward to doing this again tomorrow. Come through, kick it with me. Let's share some alpha, kick out some high frequency vibes. You know what I mean? Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Later.
See ya.
And this has been another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get together with your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars, discuss the latest Bitcoin news, world news, you name it, we got it. Alpha, fresh and hot off the presses as well. Be sure to tune into Let's Go Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. ET, Monday through Friday, along with the DeOrganized Nightly segment at 7 p.m. ET. Get into the Zest and Stacking DAO Discords. Have some fun. We have a based activity schedule where you can earn different SIP10 assets, and both of them, along with game nights, Pokemon tournaments, poker tournaments, you name it, we've got it. Go to DeOrganized.media, set up your profile, stay in the know with DeOrganized. It's simple as that. Got a based collaboration between DeOrganized and the Stacks Foundation where you can win 50 SDX among 5 different people. Winning 50 SCX, just go to DeOrganized BTC on X, give it a follow, turn on notifications, go to YouTube, search DeOrganized Media. That is DeOrganized Media, and stay in the know with us, guys. I look forward to doing this again with all the high frequency vibes, remember to keep love in the room. I'm your boy GP with DeOrganized Media. Take care. I'll see you again tomorrow.